Hello guys, and time for another Comic Book Cafe. This is 0 Hour issue 3. This shows the villain of this miniseries, Extant. They show Al Scott. They show Legion of Superheroes old. Here's Impulse on the cover, Hawkman, Superman, the new Green Lantern, or the Green Lantern at the time. Great cover to this comic book. And then you get into the cover, and then once again, there's Wally in his uniform. The Flash is now gone. And the original Flash is like, I never had any kids of my own, and I treated Wally like a grandkid, and now he's dead, and he's upset about everything. Why the young keep dying. So here's all the superheroes, basically, talking about the same thing, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And then, of course, the Mystic Guy basically takes them all, trying to take them to a certain place, the vanishing point, which they do, it says even here they don't reach there. Here's Superman and Metron, flying, check out what's going on, and then they run into Impulse, which later became a Flash for a time. And then here's Impulse running, I think it's cool to outrun dinosaurs, because he was from the future, and they were all holovids, and not realizing that time's converging on itself, and, Superman talks to him and said, hey, you want to join us? And then you show Impulse going through walls, and there he's on the other side, and he says, yeah. I like to look for my cousin, so let's go, because the Flash was his cousin. There's Impulse running, and of course, here's a guy, this guy, and you're like, who is this guy? And then Trap, whatever, and this guy and him arguing like, you know nothing about me, and then you find out they're the same guy. And he just like, no, I'm not to be evil, and he goes to fight him. And then here you see Booster and Blue Beetle and stuff here, Wonder Woman, and all this stuff, converging on this part of the town where they're all meant to meet. And then here you go, the big two-page spread of all the superheroes meeting at one spot, like Superman asked them to. And asking what the plan. Their plan basically comes down to that they have to go to both the current timeline, two timelines at once to fight this thing. The Legion of Superheroes, they show up now at Vanishing Point. They show up at Vanishing Point, but not what they expected, and there was Extant waiting for him, and they show Hawkman and Hawkwoman, and they show all these Hawkmen converging into this thing that tell this Hawkman that you're not worthy to be a Hawkman, and then they say, this other Hawkman and Hawkman come, and then they merge together. Then all of them merge together to basically form a brand new Hawkman, or a new god, as they call it. And here they are at Legion, realizing something is wrong, and here are the new gods, looking at what's happening. And you have all the superheroes, what are we going to do, deciding what they're going to do, talk about how they're all morphing and changing because the timelines are all converging on each other, kind of thing. Then they see the new Hawkman, and they're like, you're different. They said he's not this, basically he's not the same. And then he explains, Wave Rider, who's died and what's going on, and everybody's just saddened by the fact that Wally's gone. And then, Guy Gardner's shot, Hal Jordan, young Hal Jordan's dead. That means the current Hal Jordan, the bad guy, didn't exist. And his opinion was if we can bring him back, then maybe we can turn Hal Jordan where he's never bad, kind of thing. And then, they bring up things, considering he never considered what they're talking about. And there's Ansnack again, fighting the original superhero team, and basically he's just pulling them, right? Okay, this guy's dead. He's just killing them left and right. Fate's dead. He's just pummeling these old characters left and right. And they show these two guys trying to fight him, and of course he turns these guys really old. So they are on the ground, all really old, and there's nothing to do about it. There's only one guy in the group he can't turn old or do this to. And then Wave Rider realizes he has a connection to the time stream, and something's wrong at Vanishing Point. And here he is. Extant's messing him all up, but Al Scott's rings protect him. He can't change him old or hurt him like they can everybody else. And then Midnight and Hourman and Dr. Midnight both attack him, and of course, to no avail, he turns them old too. And then they're like, now what? They see this stuff the timelines are converging on each other. They're merging on their own, and so they have to find a way to stop it. Okay, let's see. Get the next page to turn for me. There we go. And then, of course, Wave Rider finally shows up in the future, and X-Stan's there, and he's like, he's trying to stabilize these guys. Though he knows who X-Stan is. Or in his mind, I think he figures out who he is. Let me get this page to turn. And so, Alton Scott's like, we can only save, he's messed up what's wrong, and then, and you did not, I'm surprised. And then he realized he thinks he's a Monarch, which was a bad guy. He's his nemesis, through all these other miniseries. And then here at the end, you see that he is turned into Wave Rider, and so Wave Rider is basically looking at himself. And that is the end of this comic book, guys. So again, another great issue with a lot of great, things you weren't expecting to happen. So guys, I'll see you for another comic book soon.